Hi everyone, and welcome to a reading for Taurus. Beautiful Taurus. Wow, what has changed? I tell you what, you just suddenly decide I've had enough of it being this way. I'm going to change it, and I'm going to change it now. And when you decide to move forward, it'd be like trying to control a bull. If that bull wants to run the gate or run the fence, there's nothing you can do to stop it. Absolutely nothing. If a human was to stand in the way of a bull charging, yeah, the thing that would win would be the bull, just from its sheer size. So you have decided that this is it. You've had enough of this, and you are going to change it. You've waited long enough for other people to come to the conclusion of realizing that maybe they might have left you out of the loop for too long. Maybe they don't have, they just sort of pushed you to the side and sort of left you sitting over there by yourself, and you went, oh, hello, wait a second, hello, hi, I'm still alive, and I'm going to come in and do something about this. Whatever this is, it could be a family dynamic. It could be something that you've been working on for a very long period of time. It could be friendship. It could be getting your finances sorted, or whatever it is. But you've just been working away behind the scenes, amassing, typical Taurus style, a good job or lots of money or whatever it is, just plodding along doing you. But there comes a time where you've got to sort of stand up for yourself as well, and that's exactly what you're doing right now. And it comes off the back of Uranus being in, I'm a Taurus sun, being in our sign for so long. We'll sort of come out the end of it here. And it could have been the last 7 years that things have been very different. 7 years you could have been left to do your own thing. 7 years, I consider 7 years a cycle, so it could be 777, or sevens popping up for you a lot at the moment, but also fives, 57, 75, that sort of thing. But you've decided now is the time that you're going to reclaim your, I heard status, but I think it's more along the lines of your rightful place. You will no longer be ignored and shoved to the side anymore. But the way that you handle scenarios now is less with the horns and more with a sheer determination. It's like, well, I'm not going to fight you, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm here now. That type of energy. I have no desire to fight you, because that's wasting everybody's time. Taurus energy has learnt so much. We've learnt to be so independent that it doesn't really matter what other people do, say, or all the rest of it. It doesn't affect us anymore. People are peopling, they're doing their thing, and we're doing ours. But it doesn't mean that we have to be beasts of burden, or just the work, the work beast, the thing that, would bring in all the stability and the money and the nurturing and care and all these things, and be pushed to the end of the line. We've just walked up to the front of the line and said, I'm next. No longer standing back there waiting for somebody to realise that you've been standing back there for cycles, 7 years at least, doing your own thing in the corner over there, having all these towers fall and all these things happen to you, and you just keep on rising to the surface. So I think you've seen it all, you've done it all, you've achieved it all in some ways. You're realising just how darn strong you are and what an asset you are. I think we've fallen in love with ourselves. Realise that we're pretty darn good. We're great, actually. And we can bring so much stability and foundation into people's lives here, but particularly our own. So by learning to look after ourselves, number one, first and foremost here, there's nothing that can knock us off, because we know no matter what happens, we're going to be all right. We're going to get back up. We're going to keep on marching no matter what it is. So I think people are sort of going, whoa, hello, you know, where have you been and what have you achieved? Oh my God, you know, and if they're not, we don't care either. We don't need people to come up and start to tell us how good we are and all that sort of stuff. It just gets embarrassing. They're not going to either. So you could actually be evoking a lot of jealousy. People that have a lot of opinion about you. We may not necessarily hear it, but we feel it. And the reaction is, oh, well, you go to you and deal with it over there. I don't care. So let's get into it. Advice for Taurus, please. I hope you're all doing well. If you'd like to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I've got some availability for some personal readings linked in the description there if you're at all interested. Okay. You could have, I just sort of been looked up and looked at this. You could have been sitting in the background here making some serious money on crypto. Yeah. You've been out of the box for that long. You've just been sitting quietly over there on your computer making bank. And you're not out there telling everybody about it, but there's an aura about you now that was not there 7 years ago. No longer people pleasing or chasing after the crumbs of existence, you know. There's a quiet confidence in your energy now. There's a brilliant YouTube tarot card reader that once said and still repeats that we're not cows, we're bulls. And I think we've realised that we're not cows, we're bulls. So it's a very different dynamic. All right, advice for Taurus, please. Yeah, and look, coming out the other side of Uranus, it's just things are moving fast so rapidly that we're actually keeping up with it too. When we are used to things moving at a different pace. 7 years ago, we liked things happening quite slowly and methodically, so we could sort of make sure all the boxes are ticked and everything's all right and everything's looked after and everybody and all the things. Everything external from us was taken care of. So our stability wasn't shaken. But with Uranus now signed for 7 years, our stability, hey, what's that? Yeah. Your life is probably absolutely the antithesis or completely different to what it was 7 years ago. And I bet you didn't think you'd be where you are right now, that's for sure. But I don't think we're just sitting here going, oh yeah, okay, here we are. I feel all right, feel great. Might have said goodbye to family, you might have said goodbye to everybody you know, you might have said goodbye to where you live, you might have said goodbye to the job, you might have said goodbye to all of it. Given up all your, possessions and gone into spirituality or, whatever it is. It could be anything, just everything has changed. But deep down, you're still the same person. And we have this quiet confidence, as I said. When a bull decides it's not going to move, there's nothing you can do to make it move. Just staying there, bring it. Yeah, okay, right, whatever. But underneath this, it's new beginnings. So you're also not putting up with people that, treat you like this and sort of look down their nose at you. Oh yeah, Taurus, what do you want? Well, a whole new life, thanks. To make my own choices, to do my own thing, one step at a time. Because I own my world. I am the creator of my world, not someone else who thinks they can impose that on us anymore. And we are a feminine sign. So we're just doing it in the background without making a grand statement about anything. We're just doing it and starting to love it and realizing that each step we take makes our world turn. Interesting, this was upright and now it's the other way around, heartache and loss. Gee, we've been through it. And be really gentle on yourself when you take stock of that, because it's hard to make massive choices. To say goodbye to everything and everyone you know. There's loss there. There's heartache. There's a wanting things to be the same. And that could come in, that little twinge of, oh, if only I fall back into that way of life again, go back to those friends, go back to that family, go back to that job, But we're realizing that the only way forward is forward. We've already stepped through the door. We've already chosen door. The first door, whatever it is, of all the doors we could have chosen, we've chosen one and we've stepped through it. So now's the time to hold your head up high and keep on doing you. And don't let other people's judgment come in and try and knock you off. Oh, in the past, Taurus would, do what I want instead of what they want. Well, no, not necessarily anymore. Our energy has changed so much. It's the birth of a new Taurus energy in the whole. Advice. And so your inspiration is bringing you stability too, with that sort of staff she's holding or a wand there. It's anchored very much into the earth. So having your feet on the earth and your head in the clouds is the way to be, and that is how you bring the inspiration to keep on moving forward, because that's the only way to go. And she's very wisely, but that's something we do. We've navigated through some pretty interesting stuff. And at the end of it all, once you make one decision, it means another one will not be made. There's fork in the road. You go one way and not the other. Even coming to that fork in the road and deciding not to make a decision is a decision. So maybe in the past we probably beat ourselves up about the decisions that we made. But I think we're all looking back with a sort of a quiet smile on our face going, wow, what a wild ride. And gee, I made some interesting decisions. And gee, I learnt a lot. And geez, I'm so proud of myself for getting through certain things and doing things and achieving things. People could be coming to you for advice, but I think people are actually sort of standing back and just watching what you do and taking that as the example more than physically asking you for the advice as well. But you're certainly seeing things from a much higher perspective now than you may have in the past. You're willing to have the idea to maybe even sidestep all the complexities of choices in the real world and just choose a much higher path now, to fly over the top of all these problems. The classic, there's a hole in the road and you walk down and you fall into it because you don't see it or know it. And then you go down that same road, you see the hole, but you still fall into it, and the hole being a problem, an issue, or whatever in your life. The third time you walk down the road, you see that hole, you still fall into it, but you realise there's another way. Pretty much along those lines. And then another time you walk down that road and you step sideways around that hole. seeing it. Oh, wait a second, that I keep on falling in that. Wait a second, I've learnt my lesson, you know, going around it. And the last time you just walk down a different street, choose a different path, fly over the top of it all. And it could have a lot to do with a romantic relationship. Or maybe you've got to a stage now that you'd like one. You'd like to have a relationship where two people are very much on the same page, who are joined in union, whether you're male or female, same sex, whatever, friendship, family, whatever. But you want to be seen and understood completely by any partnership that you bring into your life, or you will just not have one. The partnership could be with balancing your masculine and feminine sides out if there isn't someone there to do it for you. And have those two sides work in union. But it's in the palm of your hand, I hear, this choice. Take this or nothing is what I also hear. And we know that by this stage. If people don't come correct, but if we don't come correct too, if we don't know ourselves wholly and solely by now, after what we've just been through for 7 years. So it may also be hard to find somebody who's also got that level of understanding of themselves and willing to be open and receptive, to hear us, to be our partner. But by getting the balance and stability in our own life, it gives us the ability to call this in. And I hear it's time. Life doesn't have to be all alone, left in our paddock as bulls to chew on our cud and wish we could be in the paddock with all the other, you know, cows or whatever, have some company, not be seen as something to be feared, left over there, you know, behind the gate, you know, and have the only interaction you have with other creatures is a bird lying on your back or kids running through the paddock trying not to get stuck by your horns or something. If you're a bull in a paddock. We're coming out with a sense of we're not going to fight you. There's so many better things to do with life than do that. If you don't come correct or you're not on my team, well, that's it. See you later. So you are very capable of being out there by yourself. But I think there's a great desire and want now to have a connection, to find your team or find, just be careful of looking for the other half, because we are whole people. We're a complete package in ourselves, masculine and feminine in ourselves. Don't look for someone to complete you. But we've gone way past that. We realise that now that that's not the way it works. Look for someone that's done the work. Or put it out to the universe. I'm hearing my guides are saying you just put it out to the universe and breathe it, see it, know it. And if it's not forthcoming, don't worry about it. Don't worry. If it's meant to be, it'll be type of energy. And tune out distractions. So that every time I see this, I also think of time in meditation, time in nature, time watching your hands or feet, doing what your hands and feet do, stepping on the ground or moving. Aren't your hands incredible when you start to watch what they can do, how they can pick up things? And incredible. Be in your body in this time and place. Tune out distractions of the constant seeking for something outside of yourself and know that you are the whole package. and reevaluate your priorities. So you could actually find yourself slipping back into old habits, particularly with old people. If you haven't seen certain individuals for quite some time, it could be very easy to fall back, and they expect you to be a certain way. Family expects you to be a certain way. So what are your priorities now? And just tune out distractions, spend some time with yourself and decide what they are. And don't listen to other people putting, their expectations onto you. Oh, Taurus, you're this, or Taurus, you do that. Well, do I? That's pretty much a very Taurus reaction. Oh, do I? Tell me who I am and what I should be doing some more. I love it. No. Stick your feet in the ground and not move. That's it. Tell me who or what I am. I'll tell you to go somewhere else, please. All right. Any more advice, please, for Taurus? But oh, what a joy it is to be a Taurus, being in Taurus energy. We'll never go through that 7 years again with Uranus in our sign, particularly if you're, I think it's every 80 something years or something, isn't it? So I certainly won't anyway. And so reassess. Things have changed. Yeah, they've changed. And that's okay with us now. That is okay. So reassess now what you want for you and what kind of life you'd like to live. What you want to be remembered for, I also hear. What's your legacy? All right, I'll have a look at any more love blocks for you here, beautiful Taurus. I hear your legacy is something to do with your absolute authenticity. To be you 100. 100, without having to explain or apologise. As long as you're not hurting, harming or anything like that, that you're just being you 100%. And nurture and love that inner child. Love and understand your inner child. Go and have some fun. And we're balancing that out. We're deciding to do that now. It's not all about hard work and dedication and showing up and running the show and all the rest of it. It's not all about that, to bringing stability into the world, that we are the foundation, the builders. Remember what it was like to be that child and find the whimsy again. And also I'm seeing this card, and it's also, she's completely in that moment. When I was a child, there was no computers and things like that. Excuse me. Your throat chakra might be affected. And speak your truth. We spend a lot of time just being. So that's what's been asked of you at this time. Focus on the present as it's here that change occurs, and mark each day's end with gratitude. Hallelujah. Be in the present, because this is the gift. The present's the gift. So you're doing amazing. Congratulations for coming out the other side of that Uranus roller coaster. Congratulations for shifting it up by being you, authentic, and changing the Taurus energy in the world for something that's more self-confident, in love with itself, as in not in an egotistical way, but just deciding that you're all right, because you are. And you're part of the collective. Every single one of us is part of the collective. So we are all loved dearly by Source. We're all part of it. We're all part of the universe. We are loved dearly and are absolutely meant to be here right now doing what we're doing us. So Thanks so much, beautiful Taurus. I love you all, and bye for now. Whoops.